Hello everyone, this is SimNews. This is the proper review of the Dovetail Direct, and here we are. We've got Henry here, we've got Adrian here, and we're going to go through pretty much the whole thing, pretty much everything that's worth talking about from it at least, and giving our thoughts on it. So, just to summarise, yesterday, as of us recording this, Dovetail released a stream where they introduced Train Sim World 6 and its new routes and bunch of new stuff. And the three base routes in Train Sim World 6 are the Morristown line, the Riviera line, and Leipzig to Dresden. So, Adrian, the Morristown line, are you interested in it?
No.
Right, well that's sorted then. Thank you for watching, guys. No,
Right, see you in about a year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it will be. Now, the thing with the Morristown line is that it's half the size of the TS version, because of course that comes with the North Jersey coast. So
because it's TS.
Well, yeah. I mean the North Jersey coastline by itself in Traceaway was an okay length, but with the Morristown line, I think it was quite a good deal, taking into account what you get. But of course, with Traceaway, you've got half of that. And you've got two trains, the ALP46 and the Arrow 3. Of course, the ALP46 we've already had, so the Arrow 3 is the only new train with the route, and it's pretty much the only new train, completely new train, in the base version of Train Sim World 6.
No, Bertie, because if you pay a little more, you can get the ALP45, which is even more varied than the Arrow unit.
See, it's the same problem with the Class 802, which comes with the Riviera line, because it's technically a new train, but it also isn't, in a way. The ALP45 is so close to the ALP46, other than the fact that it is bi-mode, that I don't really think it's worth buying, really.
See, Matt Pedleston said that it was different, and that it was a completely different driving experience. But the thing is, I know, and the funniest thing is that I think what's funniest in all of this is that they've given you two bi-mode trains, only one of which you can actually use somewhere. Because let's not forget, they were actually, we'll get onto it in a moment, but they were actually selling the Voyager by telling you you can use it in free roam. So that's not great.
Well, yeah, but
anyway, Bertie, back to you.
Well, the Voyager, the Class 220, not only does it seem like it can tilt incorrectly, it's also the old version of it, because of course we've got a full refurbishment program going on that's going to completely change the interior of the Voyagers and the livery, and we've got one that's, well, going to be very out of date soon enough. And I don't know why they've done that one in particular. Now, maybe it's got something to do with the license agreement, because the Freightliner license, that's only up until the green liveries. So, all the current awful orange livery, not going to be in Train Sim World, luckily. I don't want to see it in any game, really, or real life. But it does seem odd.
Tangerine livery.
Well, yeah, the trouble with that is that tangerines are quite nice. So I'd call it the Iron Brew livery.
Nice.
I mean, I've never had it. I've never had Iron Brew. I don't know what it's like. But, you know.
Probably tastes like Iron Brew. So carrying on.
Yeah. The Class 150 is also with the Riviera line. And it's got a slightly different interior to the Transport for Wales one. But again, it is just a reused train. You can't make an excuse like you can with the 802. Now, the real-life GWR 150s I quite like. I've been on them once or twice, but they're actually relatively good for a train of their age. But it's... I wish... I know it doesn't really make sense for the route, but a 158 would have been nice to have as well. Of course, they're used on the Barnstable route, but that's not included in the Riviera line.
And I wonder if they're just going to have 150s going down there. That's AI.
Well, almost certainly, I think. I mean, it'd be nice to see someone do a GWR 158. But knowing them, they'll probably do the 3 coach versions that they're trying to get rid of, the hybrid sets, which is funny. So Leipzig to Dresden, it's an extended version of Riesa to Dresden. And this is the awkward thing, because the live stream wasn't really clear on whether you'd get it for free if you already owned Riesa to Dresden.
Although Dovetail games being Dovetail games, the probability is basically nil.
Well, I mean, obviously Southeastern High Speed, you got that for free if you'd bought the original version. But I haven't read any of I haven't read the roadmap article, so I don't know what's happening with it. If it mentions it on there, well, great. If not, I don't know. I mean, I don't really care enough, because you've got Leipzig to Dresden, which comes with different trains, mostly different trains, to Riesa to Dresden, which means that it's not a complete replacement for it. Because, of course, if you want a BR 144, yeah, it's a 144, isn't it?
No.
Or no, no,
143.
Yes, only one out, and a BR 363. If you want those,
Yes, I, when I think of amazing Eurotunnel locomotives, I think of the Class 92. I mean 93. I mean 91. I mean 96. Sorry, carry on, Bertie.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of that was. Now the 294, the BR 294, effectively is going to replace the 363, but it's part of a deluxe edition.
Although the one thing that will be nice about the 294, probably, I mean, obviously I haven't driven it compared to the 363, is it won't be broken, because Skyhook Games won't have made it. Well, I mean, they may have, but we hope they haven't.
Well, I know that Skyhook Games at least modelled the 363. I don't know if they did any of the simulation for it, but yeah, the 363 is a bit broken in some ways. It's still a nice-ish train to drive. In the Train Sim World pecking order, it's definitely in the top 50%. Although that's not really a good measure of it, because most trains of Trains World aren't very good. Yeah, so I don't know how I feel. Well, I don't feel good about the 294 replacing a train, but you have to pay extra for it. But it's a cool logo to have. It's probably, out of the 3 trains included in the deluxe edition, it's probably
Definitely.
yeah, it's the coolest, and it's probably the one that's worth buying the most, assuming it substitutes into other routes. Assuming,
which it probably won't. And here is where I've got my biggest gripe with the new German route, which is a gripe I already had with Dresden to Riesa and Taran to Ram. And that is, if it is simulated modern day, most of the stock that is on that route is a placeholder.
Yeah.
Because basically, one of the amazing things about Dresden to Riesa and Leipzig is it's on the Berlin to Dresden main line. Now, to those of you that don't know, what that means is you've got all the international sleeper trains go to Czech Republic and all the international destinations through Dresden, because Dresden goes down the Elbe Valley line, which is really pretty. I've been in there in real life, and you get to Ústí nad Labem and Prague in the Czech Republic. So you've got all this really cool traffic, which will obviously never be in TSW.
Yeah.
And you've got all these private operators with their little quirky DNUs, which aren't really quirky. It's just a lint or a Desiro or whatever painted in a special livery.
They're still quite interesting.
Indeed. But basically, you're getting... It's like as if you buy a routed train simulator and you populate it with your own stock. It's not accurate by a long stretch, because it's not... I mean, yes, when I went, there were 143s and there were Traxes, but not those Traxes, and the 143s and the Dostos. It's been the same Dostos now since Raw Seek Nord. So...
Well, even older. They're from the BR182 pack.
Oh, was that before?
Yeah, so they've barely updated it. Barely.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, the sounds are still the same. They sound nothing like a Dosto. They sound like...
The running sounds are so awful. And the problem with cab cars is that the running sounds are literally the most important thing of the entire train. if you're not going to get good running sounds, just don't do a cab car. There's no point, because it ruins the experience, because there's nothing else to listen to. And they just haven't changed it. I don't know why. Yeah. So it's an annoying route. And the thing with Train Simulator, the equivalent in Train Simulator, is that even though Leipzig to Dresden in TS comes with pretty much the same stock, you've got pretty much everything else.
Attention to detail. I bet you didn't realise something. Let's see. I'm going to live reaction to see if Bertie or Henry, if you've reached this conclusion. What routes leave from Leipzig?
I don't know.
S-Bahn Mitteldeutschland Rapid Transit.
Oh. Huh.
So, and it won't be in there. And it is in Train Simulator. In Train Simulator, they added the Leipzig City Tunnel.
Yes,
they did.
Yes, they did.
And it looks very nice in TS. Not as nice as it does in TSW.
But mainly due to the lighting that TS can offer.
Yeah. Then
so there you go.
The tunnel sections in Rapid Transit are the only good parts of that route.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But there you go. I bet you that's something that's not going to be in TSW. And I bet you the 1440, so the 1442, sorry, the talent that's in the S-Bahn Mitteldeutschland, which is a really interesting and attractive livery because it's silver, it's not red. It's just the only thing in the route that by default wouldn't be red isn't going to be in it. I bet you.
What about the iced tea?
And if it is, there's... Sorry?
What about the iced tea?
Well, that's what I mean. Still in, but it's just normal livery though. But what I mean though, and if it is like layered in with substitution, it'll be substitution. The first thing.
So you'd have to own Rapid Transit, which is something I don't plan to get.
Indeed, and you'll also have a talent from Köln to Aachen saying S-Bahn Köln on the side, which is great. But other than that, if you did choose to drive the Talent 2 from Rapid Transit, we're talking about one of the worst trains in TSW because
it's awful.
Yes,
the sounds are so horrible. I mean, it looks nice, but it's
that's it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it takes advantage. It's one of the few trains that really takes advantage of the more advanced reflections. And yes, they're screen-based reflections, which I hate, but it does it does look good. But out of all of the trains that you could have on a route in Trains and World, I just wish it was a better one. Now I'd like to move on to something else, that being the new features, because they're adding train faults and random events, and they were massively requested features, including by us, I think. And the way they're doing it,
I guess so.
The way they're doing it is
obviously
is good, but not good enough. It's like we waited so long. And let me explain before you both comment, because we've got signal delays and temporary speed restrictions for route random events, and the signal delays are going to be really minor, like a few seconds at most. They're not going to change anything,
because it's the way they justified it in the stream was incorrect.
I mean, they're interesting.
Because yes, but no. Because I'm sorry, but if you say we've implemented random delays, which is what that feature really should be, then it would be interesting. But the thing is, the way they've justified it is that, according to them, in the stream, in real life, which is true, it takes the signaler a few seconds to open the signal, to clear the signal. And therefore, that ends up summing up to basically make you late.
Yeah.
To that I say, yes, but
not really.
Because
not
it's absurd. It's silly, because by the same logic, it takes the guard 2 seconds to press the buzzer when he closes the doors. So by that logic, this is complete speculation, but maybe they planned on the feature being more complete and they saw it wasn't feasible. So maybe they just literally basically they half-assed it. And again, just on the same line, Bertie said that they're doing faults. Now,
Yeah.
the faults they said, the ones he definitely talked about were things like light faults. Now, it's cool. I'd rather have them than not have them. But let's not outdo ourselves, because in the UK, the only thing you need to do is switch it to the backup position, or in any case, to the night position if it's daytime. So it's not exactly like, oh my god, my traction transformer has gone, and now I need to isolate this coach using the TMS, because that's obviously not going to be in TSW, the game that has Thomas the Tank Engine in it.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing with it, with the faults is that they've completely ruled out any kind of fault that will completely ruin a run. And that's understandable, but I think they've gone too far, because they've gone for a really lightweight approach to train faults and route faults. And the temporary speed restrictions, they're cool, but it's like, so what? You're not going to have a delay simulation like you've got in Zusi. And Zusi's a game that I is way out of my league. I'm nowhere near good enough to play it. It's a very cool game, but it's not for me. But the one thing
but mainly because it's the simulator they used to train drivers in Germany.
Well, yeah, effectively. So, but yeah, the thing with that is that when you start a timetable run, in that it simulates the entire day's working before it, and it can put in delays and other things that happen. So you get a really quite randomized run. It's really cool. And if Train Sim World's timetable mode works anything like that, that would be great.
But it won't.
But it doesn't. So yeah.
And the faults. If your faults, see what they said that you're going to be able to turn faults off. Now I think this is just Dovetail, not TSW, conforming to the community, but also not. So what I think they're lacking here is, sorry for the expression, but literally balls. Because when Master Key Simulation did the 460, which is probably one of the most in-depth units in TS, and they added really faults, which as we know are very common on 460s, and you get a brake continuity fault. That's it. So you may have just done a 2-hour scenario, got to London Victoria, or just the bridge before Victoria, you get a brake continuity fault, and you can't carry on. And that ruins your run, but as it does in real life. So what I don't want is a pop-up from DTG saying, now press the reset physics button and carry on.
I mean, that would probably be in the game. I reckon that is going to be one of the solutions for faults.
I know, which is going to be really silly and therefore completely pointless, and therefore it mocks the entire release, basically, which is expect the unexpected.
See, I think that...
I mean...
No, you go first.
I was just going to say that the idea that it's just like one button to fix a problem does follow how Dovetail's created Train Sim World. It's less of a simulator like Train Sim Classic, but it's more of like an arcade experience.
Yeah, it's an arcade experience that gives you a slight insight into real life.
Well, see, I kind of disagree with that. Even though I think that Train Sim World it is less serious than Train Simulator. I think that they don't really want to have more in-depth faults. And even with the basic faults that they're going to add, you go and get loads of people on the bloody Train Sim World Facebook group, the most beautiful Facebook group of them all. It's beautiful. It's Paul Lescotton, if you're watching this, I love you. You're going to get so many people complaining, well, why doesn't my train work? That it's like they're limited by their own fan base. And themselves, obviously, but yeah. Another new feature, announcements. Announcements quite interesting because they're going to be a bit funky, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Because, they're obviously only going to apply to compatible routes and trains, which is fair enough. But what we don't know, we're pretty sure that they're going to be relatively realistic, at least for the UK. But are they going to get them properly voice acted? Or is it going to be AI or text-to-speech? And obviously text-to-speech is used in real announcements. I mean, my local station uses text-to-speech announcements. But the quality for the announcements is really important.
And as well, as I've said, but time and time again, you can do that with certain trains. You can't.
It's not universal.
It's not. Yeah. So you can do a custom announcement on a 800. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're now approaching Plymouth. Great, perfect, brilliant. But you can't do that on a 700 because when you go on a 700, what you hear is the copyrighted announcements, and that is what you like when you go on the London Underground. What you expect is the voice, or you go on Southern and you expect the voice. And so having a bloke say on a 377, the next station is, I don't know, London Victoria, is absurd because in real life Bertie does the voice quite well. It's obviously a completely different experience. So
I'm not going to do the voice.
No, it's all right. I'm just saying, in general terms, I think it's just a silly thing to do. Announcements, at least announcements like that.
If they got Julie Berry, who does the voices on loads of announcements in the UK, if they actually got her to record announcements, that would be really cool because they'd be authentic and they could use them for again and again and again. But but they're not going to do that.
Obviously. And
it's going to be like because it has to be added on a per train and per route basis. It's going to take them forever to actually add it to all of the routes. Not that they're going to. And the last feature that I'd like to talk about, the most important feature, the SD42 is being added to the training centre.
Wow!
I know, it is incredible. It's genuinely the greatest enhancement to Train Sim World. They could have done the lighting, wasn't worth it. They could have done the performance. They might have fixed it, probably not. But they're trying. But no, they added the thing that we wanted the most out of everything: an SD42 in the training centre.
I'm really looking forward to. See, the thing is as well, I love it when JD, and his muscly body come on the camera and say, and you can buy this now, and it's like, buy what? Because I don't know. It's like I love the fact that I can guarantee you when they said we're adding community requested features, aka multiplayer, and everyone multiplayer.
So I'm not sure how popular it is because there are loads of people who are adamantly against it.
Because what I think they're adamantly against is a messy multiplayer, what's it called, the Roblox game?
No, Stepford, but Stepford is actually really well moderated, at least from my experience. Because I mean, if you spell, you're immediately kicked out. If you miss a station, you're kicked out. It's really well done. And for some reason, people don't see it. But obviously, that's a conversation for another day.
Yes,
but multiplayer for us would have been the most important feature,
and for many
because we would have played it. We would have started properly playing it.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Because, but that's why people play SimRail. That's why there are British people playing a Polish train simulator, and the fact that a DTG. The thing is, what I find funny is that they promised it with TSW2. Obviously, as Bertie's told me many times, it's for them, or the way they've seen it is unfeasible.
Yeah.
So that was the end of it.
But I don't know why Dovetail's implementation of multiplayer that they tested didn't work, and SimRail's absolutely worked.
And does work.
Because SimRail has got decent physics. I don't know if they're amazing, but it's better than nothing. Steam physics are amazing, apparently.
They are.
Yeah.
I can tell you as a real world Steam train driver, I can tell you they are.
So yeah. No, you go first.
I was going to just say, everyone, before you go, Henry, sorry for the brief interruption. Everyone, I would like to share a small anecdote with you, our dear loyal followers. Bertie and Henry once recorded me wheel slipping madly in a steam locomotive, and will forever
terrible driving.
use it against me.
Yes.
Anyway, so Henry, you were going to say.
Yeah, speaking about the new features, the new routes, I've actually come up with a bit of an idea, and I don't think that Train Sim World 6, at least in its current form, was ever really supposed to exist.
Of course,
because
It's basically
gonna
it's just
require a bit of
it's
explaining.
destruction. Okay, right, Henry, we're all ears.
So, if you actually look at what they've released, like the failures and the platform announcements, that was the big kind of update for Train Sim Mode 6. And if you compare that to Train Sim Mode 5, which was the guards, the use of guards and the other things, this was
the incomplete use of guards, let us not forget.
Yes, but that's not the point. But these new features seem like they take a lot less work to implement into Train Sim Mode than like guards, which I presume was a lot of work to implement.
No,
Plus the fact that what are you going to say?
Well, I just think with I think the faults, particularly the random events in the timetable, I think they did require a bit of work, and I think that Train Sim World 5 in general wasn't actually that much of an upgrade. I interpret, I don't know if it actually is, but I interpret Train Sim World 6 as being a bigger leap forward than Train Sim World 5 was.
But again, sorry, Henry, once again for the interruption, but it also depends on something, because TSW2 Rush Hour was also a massive leap forward, and that ended up completely dying.
Yeah.
So I thought it's going to be another Rush Hour.
Maybe.
Well, probably. But going back to what I was saying, like with the two new like extra trains that you can buy, there's normally 3. Oh, okay.
It's the BR294, the Class 220 that for some reason tilts, and the ALP 45 DP.
Oh yeah. But it seems that like in Train Sim Mode 6, especially also like with the Germanry, that is, well, work-wise, that has a lot less of a development cycle because a lot of the assets would be reused because it's an extension.
Yes, yeah.
So what I think happened at Dovetail is, because we know that they're working on another game, don't know what it is, and
they call it another title, but then and I would also just like to point out, this is important regarding this other title thing. Dovetail have announced other titles. It ended up being the Abandonware. I forget what it's called. The board game. What was it called?
I don't remember.
Bertie?
It was
the board
it
game.
was Catan.
There you go, Catan. Yes, the Abandonware Steam version or console, was it? Which were the two?
So there's already a PC version of Catan, and they got the rights to make a console version, which they made and then abandoned. And then, of course, Flight Sim World, that was Abandonware, and all of the fishing games, they were Abandonware. So if Metro Rivals or whatever it is actually comes out, I know we've mentioned this before in the last episode. If it comes out and you like it, just buy it loads of times. Buy all of the DLC, because otherwise they will completely kill the game, which is fun.
Yeah, because Metroline, that's the VR version of TSW that they're trying to release.
No, but there is a VR. Train Sim World VR New York, the stupid, horrific, ugly Meta Quest version of Train Sim World that's not worth trying.
No one asked for.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't they have released a PC VR version or a PS5 VR version? On systems where it actually makes sense to release a VR version.
Getting back to what I was saying, is I think that Dovetail looked at this new title that they were going to announce, realized it wouldn't be ready in time, that the VR version of Train Sim World was not feasible, and took stock of the situation and went, oh shit. And so for this next fiscal year, they weren't going to have like a product to release. So I think about halfway through the year, the higher-ups of Dovetail went to Matt Pedalston and the TSW team and said, we know that you don't really have a new TSW to release this year, but because none of our other projects are going to be ready soon, we need you to push out another one, which is why I think this version of TSW is so bare bones, and why they lent so heavily on the community for the features, because I think they just weren't prepared to release TSW 6 so soon.
Well,
more.
But for the past few years, it has been a yearly release cycle. And you've got people on the forums saying, No. Train Sim World 6 is only going to come out when they announce it's going to come out. You can't predict if it's going to come out. Of course, it's going to come out. It's what they've been doing for the past few years.
And I would like to point something out, which is really interesting on the base of what Henry said, and it is really quite a thing to say. If their yearly upgrades are, as of now, including some sort of feature, good or bad, they are attempting to do that. I would just like to point something out. There will be a point where there will be no more features to add.
And then they'll add multiplayer.
But that didn't stop FIFA.
No, I know, but the FIFA's got a massive fan base. TSW has got a quite discontent / extremely fanatic fan base, which is strange.
Yeah, but the thing is, I said earlier that Train Sim World 6 compared to Train Sim World 5 is actually, I think, a bigger upgrade. Before they did the yearly upgrades, the yearly releases, they didn't have any financial issues before. And of course, Train Simulator, that was a free upgrade the whole time, and Train Sim World 5 and now 6, they're completely free upgrades. So from a financial point of view, the real upgrade, in a sense, is the deluxe edition trains, gatekeeping content behind the deluxe edition.
Yeah.
So which is, again, at this day and age, let us not forget, it's really, I mean, I know it's basically a massive bundle, but the TSW Special Edition is an absolute monster of a price tag.
Yeah,
I mean,
but then again, I don't.
£100
Well, yeah, it's more than £100, but I don't think you should actually get it.
No,
we shouldn't because we already own most of it. But I just think even new players probably shouldn't get it.
I mean, TSW 5 is €75. That is a lot of money. €75 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking about the deluxe edition, the deluxe and special editions, they are getting early access. So you can play them on the 25th of September instead of the 30th. Now, how do you two feel about people who don't pay up enough money being forced to wait a week to play the game?
I mean, I feel, honestly...
yeah, go ahead, Henry.
I was going to say, I don't really like this whole, not pay to win, because you can't win at TSW. But it's kind of like...
Only lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you've completely thrown me off. This sentiment that, by paying more money, you can get more features that should be in the game itself by default. And
because
that's
again,
also how I feel about
they are per DLC features once again. So it's not even a core feature. It's something they have to add. It also begs, as they add more DLC-based features. Well, one, it render the old DLCs completely boring. Well, not boring, but outdated. And two, will it make their development time skyrocket?
Perhaps.
Well,
I was going to say that for me, I know it's an industry practice now to have early access. I don't like it on a fundamental level, and I don't like Dovetail taking part in it. And I don't really see the point, because 5 days early access to Train Sim World 6 doesn't really change anything.
Especially when you know that it means nothing, because the people that play it, which are kids, do a better job than the beta tester team, and they find all the bugs that then they don't even get fixed. So what's the point?
Well, in a multiplayer game, if you've got a few days early access to Battlefield 6, that's 5 extra days of grinding towards unlocks in the game. But of course, that's not something you can do in Train Sim World.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, imagine if they gave Train Sim World a battle pass.
Oh God, no.
They did. Well, they have kind of given it to TS. Not battle pass, but
a subscription. Yeah.
Died, fizzled out.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, the third party stuff. they announced a bunch of third-party stuff in the utterly moronic and unbearable Take a Ticket segment, presented by two people who I think, on a moral standpoint, deserve better.
Yeah, they're trying, but obviously they went to college and university for game development.
They're not going to be presenting Top Gear at any time soon. But that's not their fault. It's just not.
Again, Dovetail being Dovetail.
Yeah, next year they can hire us.
Hey.
Anyway,
Dovetail is off our official application.
Yes.
Hire.
So there was a Czech route that was announced.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that is for me the most interesting single thing to have been announced during the entire stream, because I do quite like Czech railways, as does Adrian and Henry.
Do you?
Well, yeah, I like them. I find them interesting.
This is me giving a bit of a contradicting opinion, but I am a massive fan of the idea of a Portuguese DLC. Again, it opens the door for a really wide spectrum of quality, because, of course, compare TSG with Rivet, and it's day and night. So we've got all these, which I think is brilliant, all these developers pouring in, but then how good are these developers actually going to be is also quite a big question.
I mean, I do like the fact that they are breaking up the holy trinity of Germany, England, and America in Train Sim Classic and Train Sim World games.
Well, see, it's not a Dovetail route, and Dovetail they are still sticking with those three countries most of the time. So it's up to third parties, as it was in TS, to make content for other countries.
I'm also a bit worried because I don't know if
it's bad, it'll kill the entire chances of proper Czech routes.
And Portuguese and so on.
Well, the Czech route is coming with 2 trains, and
which is nice.
Well, yeah, but I reckon it's going to be quite a small developer, so that route is going to take years to come out.
Oh god, yeah. Because hasn't that one Japanese route been stuck in development
the Tadami line
forever?
The Tadami line has been in development for quite a long time, and there was a gameplay video. If I remember, I'll put it on screen right now. And I
remember it was actually quite beautiful.
Oh, it is stunning. But the thing that I'm most scared of with that route is
the trains.
Well, yeah, the sounds of a train, because the TS version, the sounds on that are awful. And Union Workshop are not good at sounds. It's going to kill the enjoyment of the route if the sounds are terrible. And I guess the same thing applies to the Portuguese route and the Czech route as well.
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you are even the slightest bit interested in any kind of foreign route outside, I said, Germany, the UK, or America, then I think that you should really buy at least some of the DLCs that are coming out, just because if the Czech, Portuguese, and Japanese routes just completely fall on their face and just don't take off and don't do well, I think Dovetail will not take that as a sign of the individual developers being bad, but there just being no interest for routes outside of those big 3, and then they'll just never be any foreign routes ever again.
That is a really valid point.
Well, the thing is that with third-party partners, and of course, if you want to sell something for TSW, you have to go through Dovetail because, of their stupid bloody rules. Dovetail Games basically do market analysis of some kind to see if there is a market for a particular route, and clearly the Portuguese and Czech routes have gone through that analysis, and they've gone yes. But we don't know yet what happens afterwards, because these 3 routes, Tadami, the Czech route, and the Portuguese route, they are certain where the first properly foreign. Foreign as in completely new countries.
Absolutely.
Released as third-party partner routes in Train Sim World. So if they fail, genuinely, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I assume maybe they'll let them continue making things, but it's completely up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, with Dovetail as a corporate structure in a company, I definitely see them being obsessed with like the numbers of like sales and things like
the
that.
Numbers will matter a lot. Hence why they killed Steam.
Yeah, like that's what happened with Spirit of Steam. You know, that's what happened with a lot of their other projects. They are absolutely obsessed from a corporate standpoint on
with the numbers.
And even if like something doesn't work, like the slightest bit, they will kill it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Keep the numbers up, which is again why I'm so scared about these.
I mean, it's also happened. I mean, with I honestly think we talked about this yesterday on our private call, but one of the things I brought up yesterday is I read somewhere that Rivet Games had like a studio update or something, and it's taken them some time. But this isn't me speculating, but it being Rivet and not TSG, meaning probably with Skyhook Games until they started doing the wagon packs, one of the most badly rated developers, if not the most, for TSW by far. Because I remember it was like when they announced the 204, which was absolutely yonks ago, if we all care to remember.
No.
Okay. Everyone was really excited because, oh my god, it's Rivet Games, we've got third-party developers, something's going to change. Didn't. And then Rivet Games came and basically farted on DTG's face. And I remember there being quite a lot of tension. Rivet blaming DTG saying that support was Rivet, and then Rivet were pushing out updates, and so it's quite a tense environment.
Well, TSG had some problems as well with I think it's probably some services or something like that, but they'd released an update. Well, they produced an update, and then Dovetail.
Sorry for the small update, but he does really good stuff. But Mike Goltz isn't precisely known for being one of the nicest and most open. Being honest,
I'm not one of the nicest people, but I like to think I'm generally quite. I don't know how to describe it.
I think you're very nice, but other than that, you're definitely able to communicate on the forums.
Yeah,
which is important if you're going to be doing customer service.
I think I am relatively competent at debates and discussions, at least in text. And so with Mike Goltz and TSG, seemingly they produced updates that Dovetail would take a really long time to actually release. And of course, him and me have had some
friendly conversations.
Yeah, disagreements in the past. One of them was the price of the Expert BR101. So one other thing is the Stuttgart route.
Yes.
Which is set in the early... Yes, well.
But anyway.
It's set in the early 2000s, and it's coming with a BR140, and I really hope that TSG, despite all of their problems, are making the BR140, because they're very good at old German stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the BR103 was decent, and the BR101, the Expert BR101, I assume is decent.
I've seen some videos of it, and it looks very nice.
And then, of course, Just Trains with Preston to Crewe. They said
which is very nice.
Well, yeah, they said that they weren't going to do Carlisle to Glasgow, but they are doing Preston to Crewe. And it's coming with the correct Class 86, the 86-4. It's coming with a Class 20 and a 47. The 20, I think it'll be quite interesting to see how they update it, because the 20, even as it is now, is one of the best trains.
Probably the best. Yes, absolutely.
It's among the best trains in all of Train Sim World.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
It is beautifully textured. The sounds are decent. It is really nice to drive. It's just a lovely train.
It's got things. Alan Thompson, who everyone will have heard of by this point,
yeah,
has always talked a lot about immersion. with their. It's more small on the TS front. They've announced a Voyager and a 165, which is going to be fun. But anyway, he's always talked about and very needed, may I add. But he's always talked about immersion, and I agree with him. And what the 20 does is immerse you, because even though it's obviously, well, it falls victim of TSW, as it obviously was going to, because of the limited sound channels and all of that stuff. One of the things it does, which I remember when I bought it the second it came out on PS4, and I remember when I started the engine and the light flickers in real life, because obviously when you start a diesel engine, the starter motor puts a big demand on the battery, which is powering the auxiliary things like the lights. The lights in the cab flickered, and until the engine's running by itself, they don't stop like dimming and flickering. And I just thought, wow, that is like a real locomotive, a real old, crusty, dirty, buggered up locomotive. And it's that has happened to me very, very, very few times in Racing World.
The 20s in real life are really interesting locomotives, considering that they're among the most successful designs from an era of characteristically unsuccessful trains. So I like Class 20s a lot. So I am excited to see what they do with it. And of course, we've got one more thing, and not in an Apple sense, but we've got one more thing, and that is to do with the Epic Games Store. And
oh god,
for Adrian, this was the best news he's ever heard. Quite frankly, you should have seen his reaction. It was beautiful, made me cry. A very large chunk of DLC for Train Sim World will not be re-released for Train Sim World 6. So if you've got Northern Transpennine, for example...
On Epic Games.
Yeah, on Epic Games. If you've got, let's say, Northern Transpennine on the Epic Games Store, you will not be able to get it in Train Sim World 6, at least as of launch. Now,
and why is this, you may be asking? This has got a very simple answer.
Well,
because Dovetail made too many versions of TSW.
Well, the real reason isn't clear, and Dovetail have been doing their business speak to get out of it, and they didn't mention it in any real. They didn't mention it in any real capacity. It was really hidden, which is very dodgy of them. I'm not very happy with that.
Maybe because I don't know why you would get it on the Epic Games Store, to be honest. Because I've always
the Epic Games Store is just a shit storefront. It's just not very good.
I don't know why you would choose it over like at least
Steam.
Yeah.
Steam is really just like unbeatable when it comes to like game stores.
It's just the standard, really.
Good old games. GOG Galaxy is really good. It's like even though Steam is the ultimate PC launcher, I think a lot of people do actually quite like GOG Galaxy because it's actually really good, considering that the games that you get are DRM free, which of course Train Sim World isn't.
Until it was. I'll remind you.
Yeah, sort of. So a possible reason is, as Adrian said, they've released so many duplicates of the same DLCs that Epic Games are limiting them. There's no... The ones that are actually being released are allegedly the most popular ones. But it raises the concern that what if the same thing happens for PlayStation and Xbox? Because...
It will happen. But if we follow this logic... every single time a new TSW release, they have to re-release all the DLC plus. So, if we get to the point of, say, I don't know, I'm just going to have a quick check on Steam to see how many DLC TSW has, so we can do an average. So TSW has 129, including gameplay packs and extensions and all of that stuff, going into the details of it. So if you say that just three TSW have an average of 100 DLCs. That's 300 DLCs in 3 years. That's a lot of DLCs.
Yeah. And, well, obviously in the past, when Rush Hour came out, there were huge problems with DLC management on PlayStation and Xbox. So what happened on the Epic Games Store may well happen on console. And there's no real... Dovetail haven't actually offered a solution. Because something suggested on the forums by someone is, well, if you can provide proof of purchase, they should give you free Steam keys for the things that you accessed for Trains of the World 1 to 5 on Epic Games. Well, 2 to 5, but you know what I mean. And then give you the equivalent keys for Trains of the World 6 on Steam. But they're probably not going to do that. So what's going to happen? The people on Epic Games are furious, basically. And they shouldn't.
I can imagine.
Well, they shouldn't have hidden it. Dovetail Games, they really shouldn't have hidden that news, because it's literally.
Well, it's not great.
Well, it's literally a game changer for people on Epic Games, and not in a good way. So
a game stopper, you might call it.
Yeah, exactly.
A game blocker.
So even though it's hilarious for us, because it's another failure for DQG,
it's genuinely damaging.
Well, yeah, it is, and it's a bad thing for the people who have actually had to
invest.
Yeah, so it's
again it's a bit of a them problem, because I don't know who invests on anything in the game store. But anyway, I'm not going into that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can go over the moral inferiority of using the Epic Games Store, but fundamentally, people have spent money that is now being technically wasted. Because of course you can still play them in all of the past versions of Train Sim World, but
which aren't few.
Yes, but it's still not. It's not an ideal situation because you won't get any new features. Not that you would have anyway, because I don't update old things that often. But one thing that they did do, which is good, is the Peninsula Corridor and all of the Caltrain stuff is being re-released in unbranded versions,
which is very good.
Yes.
And I'm saying that being the world's biggest hater of Trace of World.
Yeah, I mean Peninsula Corridor
and American things.
Well, the Peninsula Corridor, when it came out, I actually really liked it. It's still my favourite US passenger route, and obviously it's completely fucked at this point in Trains of the World. But at the time, it was great.
I remember really enjoying it. However, I'm not exaggerating, but it is the only game that has ever given me headaches. I remember driving the Baby Bullet, and I am not kidding you, as I often kid about TSW's lighting. But I remember it being on PS4 on my television, because I used to play it on TV. On PS4, obviously, not on the television. That would be quite unusual.
On Channel 5.
And I remember the world. It was this greyish. Well, it still is, but it's this greyish, extremely bright colour. And I remember it giving me awful headaches. And I remember having to stop playing because of Peninsula Corridor, which just sounds absurd.
Yeah,
but I'm not kidding.
I mean, for a game that's got particularly bad lighting, it's incredible that Peninsula Corridor managed to beat that for bad lighting. So, as I said in my first impressions video, nothing beats the Jet 2 holiday, and nothing beats Dovetail Direct for wasting our time. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you eventually, probably when Trains of the World 6 has actually come out. So until then, goodbye.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, and that.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yes.